I can't say that I developed that same kind of relationship with my audience. Ah, fuck. There. I set up the wrong one. We got the right screen now.
Real good?
Hey, everybody.
Hello!
We is live.
We're here. It's so cool in here. Oh my god.
Really, I figured it was a little warm. Chat has a relationship? Chat always has a relationship with
Yeah.
their streamer.
Hey, Ward. Yeah, it's the
So,
nature of the relationship that is important.
that is very true. So, today we're doing a little I Spy with my little eye, and today I'm talking with Lauren Haley. Would you like
Hello.
to give yourself a little bit of an intro to everybody?
Sure. I'm gonna actually say like the intro line that I never say, but we'll pretend that I always say it. Uh, I'm Lauren the Norn. I'm here to weave our fates together, not our feet together. That's a third date thing. Um, I am trans, very gay, poly, and just here to have a good time. I'm excited. I wrote something down and didn't read it. So if that's how the first thing goes, this is going to go great. How are you?
Oh, this is gonna go perfectly. I'm doing pretty well. Def third date thing? True. Oh,
Hey,
wait, I
McCutie.
should
Hey, Mimi.
did I seriously not? Okay, fine.
Whoop.
Just going to be doing something real quick.
Okay.
There. Damn it. Not that one.
Like
There.
moving my
Now
word
everybody can
pad.
read your chat too and know who we're talking to.
Ooh, very nice.
I'll put them right there with you. Okay, so what platforms are you on?
I am on um Twitter, primarily Twitter. I'm on Twitch. I'm on YouTube, Reddit. Um, I say Reddit, but I made a subreddit and forgot about it. I've just made a Discord. There is finally a Discord, because my chat was asking where my Discord went, where it was, on Coffee and on Throne. So,
Oh, nice.
yeah,
That's a pretty well-rounded selection.
I try to cover my bases, although it is a little biased by things I'm actually familiar with. The Insta and the TikTok scares me a little bit.
That's totally fair. We all are influenced by our biases.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I should definitely ask this before we get too far. Can I get your pronouns?
She and they. And just to confirm, yours are she, her? Yes?
Yes, mine. Well, she, they.
Yes.
And you cut up just a little bit. Were you saying she, they?
Yep, she, they.
Yeah, okay, perfect. That's what I assumed. Because, it's so great to assume pronouns. Do you have any nicknames?
No, I've never, both in the sense of VTubing and off stream, I've never been one to receive a nickname. So just Lauren is fine.
Alrighty. Um, what inspired you to start getting into streaming and content creation?
Well, I've always wanted to do entertainment. It's one of those things that like, when I made kids the other kids laugh, I was like, oh, this is a good feeling. And then I did like acting in high school. Oh god, a posture check. Um, I did like I've done other stuff. I
Oh,
did YouTube for a little while, but like I generally speaking, what inspired, I was always inspired by other people and making them feel things. And then in terms of VTubing specifically, my inspiration was Akuma Nimune, otherwise known as Numi. Um,
okay.
when I was a little bit before we started, I was talking about adversarial relationships with chat. Um, I think of how Numi gets bullied by her chat a little bit, and I think that's a very fun um, back and forth.
It honestly does seem like a bit of a fun back and forth.
Also, it's
Though my
Darla
chat
Labatt
is a
Queen.
little yeah, Darla. Writing
Hello.
a story about her.
Oh, very
That's how
nice.
bestie we are.
Oh yeah.
So how long have you been making content?
VTubing, it's been less than a month.
Oh,
It's
really?
yeah, it's been going actually it's been going pretty well. I'm kind of shocked at how much it's been working out thus far. Um, in terms of, I did a long time ago do a Let's Play channel with my best friend,
Hey,
and
twinsies.
yeah, and I'm not gonna name it because there's forbidden knowledge contained therein, but it was we did all right. We did well enough that we had like a multi-channel network and got invited to like their own gaming convention and stuff. Um, so
Oh, wow.
yeah, so I have a little bit of experience with this stuff, but VTubing itself is new.
Okay, I've been at VTubing for 6 months now. Content creation in general about forever, but, like, streaming on Twitch, it's been over a year now.
Oh, very nice.
Oop. Do you happen to have a goal with your platform?
Um, I think, I think the most like sort of unfiltered, selfish goal is just I want to express myself and be validated for it. But I think I think the better and still true, the still authentic, but more considered answer would be I want to create a space where people feel relaxed and can take a breath, and basically I just want to create a space where people feel accepted and feel good about themselves because I think that there are many times in my life where I could have used that space, and I've had that space, and I think that if I was able to provide that for other people, that would be amazing.
Yeah, that's honestly similar to me. I didn't really have these kinds of resources to ask for specific knowledge regarding to, like, gender identity,
Mhm.
sexuality, that kinda stuff. So I aim to provide a community that does that too. Solaire's getting me to hydrate. I'll nom first. Um, what kinda content do you create?
Um, I do gaming streams. I do a lot of chatting streams just because I just like talking to people. Um, and I what else do I do? I do want to do music stuff. I am a musician and I do want to incorporate that more into
Oh?
VTubing. But I that's a work in progress. So hopefully that. And otherwise I tweet whatever comes to my brain. Sometimes no matter how unfortunate that might be. If people follow me on Twitter, they've probably seen some of the terrible, awful to things I've tweeted. I won't apologize, but that's how it is.
Yeah, it's kinda out there publicly.
Mhm.
I mean, you can delete, but people complain.
I have
They're gonna complain anyways.
mhm. Like, I deleted a tweet today because
Um,
I made a horrible
was
mistake and oh, go ahead.
was there something you wish you were taught when you first got into content creation?
Oh,
Or that you would appreciate advice for now, considering that you are fairly new to, like, VTubing and stuff?
yeah, yeah, I'm gonna leave that tweet story as a nice hanging thread and no one will know the answer. So in terms of, something I wish I was
Oh,
taught, I think the main thing is that,
maybe.
like, it's really easy to get caught up in, like
Alright, can you hear me?
oh, yeah, I can hear you.
Because I can't hear you.
Uh-oh. Uh, quick chat, can you hear me? Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Oh, now I hear you.
oh, hold on. Let me just do a quick okay. Okay. It seems like it's alright. Um,
Hey, P-Dork.
anyway, so to answer the question, I think the main thing that I wish I had, been sort of taught is to just do it. Just
Bro.
there's so much and for me it's really easy to get caught up in like all of the technical stuff and get caught up in all of the like audio excellence or technical equipment or um all of this sort of stuff around it, all of this craft that surrounds the thing, and then I get so caught up in that I don't just do the thing and get better at doing the thing. And like that's held me back in pursuing other avenues of entertainment. And with VTubing, I've just done it and it's worked out pretty well. So yeah, sometimes just
Yeah, it's honestly pretty easy to just get started with VTubing. And that's kind of the trick to content creation in general is get started, keep going.
yep. And I would always grouse when someone would tell me just do it, and I'm just like, but no, just do it.
If it
There's not a trick
requires
here.
effort
Mm.
to be a content creator, I gotta make content. Fuck.
Yeah, it's an easy trap to find yourself in.
All too easy. Eh. Ah,
Yeah.
fuck, my browser resized.
Ooh.
Is there a kind of content you've wanted to make or see but feel like it's too niche?
Um, I think in terms of wanting to make, um, I would say I would love to see, or rather, I would love to make streams. I'd love to do streams of just like I have a synthesizer. I'm gonna get the grossest noises I can wring out of the little thing, but I don't think that that's going to be a high appeal. I think people, when they want, a synthesizer stream, they want like a nice music stream where it sounds good and isn't just, you know, disgusting, squelchy filter sweeps. But in my heart of hearts, I would love to have a stream of nothing but disgusting, squelchy filter sweeps.
Honestly, that would be pretty funny. I think there would be people interested in checking that out. Just to find out what kind of weird shit a synthesizer can make?
They, you can make the most buck wild noises. It's wonderful. Like
I don't even doubt that.
I'd almost want to do like an audio horror, I guess. Just like instead of like noise music, it's just like this is a terrible soundscape that's being inflicted on you. Please follow.
Please like and subscribe.
Yeah, please like and subscribe for more terrible, gross noises.
What's the biggest project you're currently working on?
Definitely getting my whole like workflow live stream music setup going. Um, basically, I'm trying to get a DAW setup where I can easily and quickly lay down the groundwork for like looping and live stuff. So I can sort of give myself the necessary framework and structure to do improv, like improv guitar, improv keyboard, so on and so forth. Because
Okay.
yeah, that's the I can be a bit of a perfectionist, especially about music stuff, and improv is scary, but that's why I'm working so hard to make sure that I have like I'm supporting myself in all the ways that I need to enable that, basically.
So you're a composer.
Eh, I don't I haven't composed very much, but I can play well enough, I guess.
Oh, I have wanted to dabble more into the music scene, but I'm not really the best with instruments or access to instruments. But I think I got a pretty decent voice.
Eh, I mean, I don't doubt that. First, second, there's a lot of very good free resources if you want to play with say modular synthesis to begin with, because that's there's a lot of people who have modeled those digitally and just they released that stuff for free. Um, it's really nice. I have a bunch of
Modular.
terrible VST plugins I could run my my voice through right now. Even I won't to spare everyone, but there's a lot of stuff that's accessible. That's it's easier than ever to pick it up. So if you're interested, I encourage you to go for it.
I will definitely be looking into this one because I have been wanting to do like covers and stuff. That what's held me back is lack of actually getting together the music because I don't want to steal the sound.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I try to do like everything. I'm doing it myself mostly because I can't afford peeps. A defiant banana says, I am a banana. Hello, banana.
Also, P Dork saying your singing is beautiful. So
True.
I
I
trust
did put
that.
out a little YouTube short last night.
Oh, very nice.
I kinda owed Twitter from like 500 followers ago. I've just been a bit of a coward to put it out. Hey, Mystic Wolf.
Stick Wolf. Hello.
What's Oh wait, no, I wanna go to a different one. Did I ask what's the biggest project you're working on?
Yes.
Okay, good. What's up? Just interviewing Lauren Haley here. Got
Hello.
got that guest command. Shout her out. Are you serious? Is the bot not gonna work now? Awesome. Well, the links will definitely be included in the bio
I'm a
or
mystery.
in the description.
An enigma.
I do also shout her out on Twitter. If you could collaborate with any content creator, who would it be?
I mentioned earlier that my inspiration for VTubing was Numi. I have a running joke on my Twitter that all of my streams are, in fact, special Oshi call in streams where I'm waiting for Numi to call in. Um, Obviously, she doesn't, so then I go back to that thread and report that she did not and come up with an excuse for her, as if it was, just about to happen. And that would be, I guess that is the dream, but I don't, I have no idea what we would do, but I think it would be a fun time regardless, you know?
Yeah, that that's honestly pretty creative way to get people looking at your platform at least.
I mean, I've
What's
made
your
a,
favorite Twix, left or right? Ooh, I don't know. Left is pretty good, but right just hits different.
I eat both at once.
Oh, I like you.
I mix the streams. I will commit every snack taboo under the sun. Nothing is sacred.
I don't know. My weirdest snack thing is I use a fork for Cheetos.
Reasonable. I won't. I would never judge someone for how they consume. Generally, I think we all find
Well, with
our most
Cheetos, you
comfortable
don't get the
place.
cheese on your fingers. Yeah, you can just poke them and eat them.
Yeah.
Am
Well,
I mad? No, I'm pretty happy.
I was so freed once I realized that I can use a fork and knife for whatever the fuck I want. No one owns me. They can't make me not do it. Who cares? It's eat your food how you want to eat your food.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine.
Live your life.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if you're king, queen, or the emperor.
Oh, the Emperor, that's nice.
Yeah, I've actually heard it only recently. I love it.
I never know what to do about like a gender neutral monarch. That's really good.
Yeah, that's why I've actually started using it some.
Hell yeah.
What skill would you say has taken you the longest to improve? Oh, wait, Pedoric's asking what's your favorite kind of Cheetos? The cheesy ones. Themperor. Themperor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In terms of the skill that's taken longest to improve, I'm bad at maintaining a conversation while playing games. So that's partially why I do so many chat streams, is because I want to be able to have like a proper conversation with people without my uh, ADHD brain just being like, "You were trying to do something, but honestly, who knows?" The executive function just rips it right out. So I, yeah, no, that's something I've been working on, and that's something that I will probably continue to be developing because that's a tough one.
Yeah, that's an ongoing skill to build. You don't like monarchy, though? Not me either. Just using terms to uplift people.
Hmm.
I did, however, catch one of your streams.
Oh,
Yeah, I was lurking while you were playing that game where, the character's, like, in a pot and you have a sledgehammer.
oh, you were on my getting over it stream. Lovely.
Yeah, I was lurking through that.
What'd you think?
I you could bear a little to chat a little more, but honestly, you give off such a chill vibe that I don't really feel put off by airs of silence while you're thinking of stuff.
That's good. Thank you.
But I mean, constantly vocalizing your thoughts is a skill that takes time to build.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, no, it's definitely. I'm glad though that you had the feeling that it wasn't so awkward if there was dead air because.
Oh, yeah, I do know that there are, like, some streamers that are doing, like, just chatting streams and talking about, what's it? Various topics,
Hmm.
and they would, I'm losing my train of thought. Awesome. And they would or some of them anyways, would take, like, minute-long pauses to really contemplate what they were about to say.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and that's, like, bigger people too, so there is a thing to be said about keeping the individual's attention span that, like, jumps into your stream for the first time, no idea who you are,
Hmm.
but
Hmm.
aside from that small niche, it's not a big deal.
Yeah, I do try to stay chipper for new people, but I think that
Oh, yeah,
it's
100%.
I'm happy when people are able to just vibe. Oh, big yawn.
Little big yawn. How do you like to spend your free time not working on content?
Um, I do sort of non-content music stuff that's very just relaxing, and for me, I read an ungodly amount of gay comics. Um, Yuri, gay manhwa, whatever it is, Western, Eastern. I have a constant feed of all of it going directly into my brain. Um, I just enjoy it. And I don't know, I do mobile games, watch stuff. I don't have a whole lot of like, I don't have very many like outdoorsy hobbies, which at least for the pandemic turned out to be maybe more of a blessing. But
True. Silver linings.
yeah, those are sort of those are the things I'm typically up to.
Alrighty. That does sound like to keep yourself busy.
Mhm. I just
Where do you want to see yourself in 5 years?
hmm. Well, if I could get away with like VTubing and music being my actual career, I think that would be like amazing. I don't think I could
That is
be
the dream.
yeah, I don't think I could be more like fulfilled by any other kind of work unless it was like, I don't know, acting or something. But generally speaking, in 5 years, I hope that I'm still doing this. I hope that it's self-sustaining either through the means of numeric success or if through some amazing miracle we managed to wrangle the United States government into giving us universal basic income or something.
Well, there's definitely a push for it. Just
I
gotta keep being loud about it.
I America puts a lot of focus on people have to work to be valuable, and it's not sustainable, it's not healthy, and it's so in the people's like mind, it's so burnt in. It's really hard
Mhm,
to fight against. Oh, nice to meet you, Humble Hedgehog 91.
mhm. Ooh, I this might be a bit of a taboo question for a musician.
Mm.
What's your favorite music genre?
Um, I do enjoy a bit of everything. Like
Nice.
I'll enjoy most music for some quality of it. I do come back to metal and jazz a lot. Also video
Nice.
game soundtracks, which oftentimes are just their own genres, but sometimes you have sort of there's a pseudo genre element to it, I think, because it's usually jazz by way of video game music because it's written for such specific constraints.
Yeah, but it's good to hear that you're also a fan of metal,
Hmm.
and I do enjoy my jazz too.
Do you also listen to Opeth?
I'm gonna have to Google so I can look like a poser.
Just because they tend to do a little bit of metal and a little bit of jazz. Um,
Actually, do I have them in my Spotify?
there's been a
Because there are a lot of artists that I don't recognize by name,
mm-hmm.
but they got like 1 or 2 songs in there that I just love. There's the search function.
I'm terrible where I just like if there's a
Oh,
band
Sag, I gotta add them.
if there's a band that I like, I'm like I have to know who's in the band. I have to know what's beyond just what their music is. What's their deal? And I'm just I hyper research everything. I have to know. Have to
That is
know.
totally fair. There's only, like, a couple bands that have really grabbed me like that, but in modern day, I haven't really been grabbed by bands.
Mm-hmm.
I've just been more focusing on my content and shit in my own little world.
Oh yeah. It can be hard to find new music.
Hey, Lexi. It it really can be, but I have been finding new stuff.
That's
Like,
good.
Magnolia Park is a band out of 2019.
Oh yeah, I've heard a
Holy
little bit of
shit, they're
them.
rising stars.
Pretty good.
Yeah, they're worth listening to.
In terms of rising stars, have you listened to any Polyphia?
I'm gonna Google them.
They're
Polyphia? Oh, there. That's
jazz
an interesting way to spell it.
instrumentalists, I guess. I mean, jazz is understating it. It's that they're in a really fun sort of meeting place of several genres. They've got a really unique sound to them.
Yeah, they're saying recommend or related to Polyphia. Polyphia
I say
is
Polyphia.
like
I don't know.
Metallica, Slipknot, Mastodon, Ghost, Iron Maiden.
Mm,
Those are pretty big influences.
I do enjoy all those.
Yeah, Lexi, just chatting and getting to know Lauren Haley. I hope my command's working.
Ooh, this time for sure.
It's not.
Oh well, that's
Do I
okay.
got disable, re-enable? I will browse how to figure that one out while you inform Chad what song would be played endlessly on loop in your personal hell.
Kind of a hard question, if only because there have been songs in the past that I just like I heard it and I hated it, and then after enough like hearing it enough times, I'm like, oh no, I kind of like it now.
I'm gonna give you a
Yeah, like I don't hate that song at all. Um, I think though what it would probably have to be is a show tune, out of context, because like I have a hard time listening to musical like songs from musicals as standalone songs. I always just prefer it in its musical place, in its story place. So I think a song from a musical that's like really, really like just completely no good on its own. It needs to be in the broader show. That's the kind of thing that would like drive me up the wall.
I totally get that. And yeah, it's looking like the bot's dead.
Oh no. Rip. F in
Why
chat.
can't I just shout out? Yes, please, F's in chat. Maybe it'll bring the bot back. I'll give one too. I gotta support. Do you have a food that you like that not many others do?
Ah, Warheads, maybe? Are you familiar?
The candy? I haven't really tried those.
They're very sour. That's their whole the selling point, as it were. Um,
Okay, that's what I thought.
and I think people like them well enough. Like they haven't gone out of business, but I don't even have the experience of like, oh, it's so sour. I'm just like, good. Or like black coffee, like black decaf coffee. A lot of people I think drink coffee for the caffeine, and I do. I am very addicted to caffeine, but I like the taste of coffee. I like the taste of black coffee, and I think that that's always ends up being more niche than I realize because I realize when people talk about how they love coffee, they the implication for them is that they like stuff in their coffee. And
Yeah, they like sugar, not really coffee.
mhm,
Honestly, the only person that I know IRL that drinks black coffee is my dad.
that's that doesn't surprise me. It seems like it's a very dad thing to do, which rankles me in some sense because not a dad. I'm not a mom. I'm not a I I'm just me, but that's okay.
You're just you. Defiant Bananas asking hot cocoa or apple cider.
Oh, hot cocoa for sure.
Agreed.
Like that's I like a drink that's like rich and creamy as opposed to apple cider, which is not bad, but
I do like when things get rich and creamy.
I think we all can
What was
appreciate
your
that.
ideal breakfast?
I think we can all appreciate that.
True. You prefer apple cider, Lexi?
Mm.
Do do
And
do.
that can be
What does
refreshing.
your I honestly can't say that I know it by taste.
Mm. All right, keep cutting you off from the next question.
Well, if there's like a bit of dead air, I'm gonna try to move on to the next question,
Hmm.
but I also want to 100% give you the chance to voice your thoughts because that's what this is about.
Mm.
Omni Vespa, hey there. Um, okay. Hopefully
Hey
I finished the
Vespa.
question this time.
We'll
What does
see.
your ideal Oh my god, Lauren. What does your ideal breakfast include?
um, so there's this specific breakfast place I went to once, and they had an eggs Benedict with corned beef hash, and it was like the best corned beef hash I've ever had. Because it wasn't like the canned stuff; it was like all of the parts of it were fresh and good, and that
Ooh,
plus like just a cup of black coffee. I really can't think of a better breakfast. That was it's so good. Thank you, Defiant
that
Banana.
thank you. That does sound like a pretty damn good breakfast, honestly. I'm having a dinner and you're making me hungry. Um, what topic could you talk about the most?
I anything that I like, I hyperfixate on and I learn everything about. I learn about the community that surrounds it. I learn the memes for it, and I can just talk about it forever. So all of the gay comic stuff, the culture of the gay comic stuff, all of the video games I really like, all of the technical aspects of like synthesizers, music stuff, media critique, things like that. Oh, thank you for following.
Yay, new follower.
Thank you. Oh, wait, there's a lot. Pokemastered Crimson. Pokemaster Red
Hey,
Crimson. Oh,
Crimson.
and there we go. My
They're my
brain.
moderators.
Oh, thank you. My brain tried to combine like all of those words into wrong words, but yeah,
Yeah, I just call them Crimson.
yeah, I can talk
Oh, you
about
won.
all sorts of
You won
things
the
too
game.
much. Oh, I won. Hell yeah. But yeah, I think I think the one that's like the most fun that I can talk too much about is probably Kingdom Hearts, just because apparently it is a skill to be able to explain the whole meta narrative of that series. Um, and I do kind of like it because it is a very silly thing at the end of the day, and I appreciate it.
I do also appreciate my silly stuff. Though I personally couldn't get much into Kingdom Hearts.
Mm-mm-mm.
To be fair, I first tried it when I was
To be
very
fair.
much an egg, and I couldn't get past the it's a spaceship that runs on good feelings.
Mood. That's fair. I think for me, when I first played Kingdom Hearts, I was in kind of a period of unrest in my life, and Kingdom Hearts provided a sort of simple and clean view of the world that really resonated with me. And I think it was the first like story I encountered that had the big like, oh, the main character has actually done a big self-sacrifice for someone they love, and that like I was just like, oh. So I think I love Kingdom Hearts, but like I fully recognize that I have a huge amount of nostalgia, and I forgive it for so much because it has so many sins.
But to its credit, Cloud,
Cloud's very good. Also, they killed Goofy that one time, which amazing. That's
they,
hilarious.
they did? That's pretty poggers,
Yeah,
as the kids say.
Goofy gets hit in the head with a rock and dies. There's no drama. It just happens.
What?
This is a real thing in Kingdom Hearts. My best selling point for playing them is they have a whole organization of catty gays, and also Goofy dies. Like he gets better,
He
but
just gets hit in the head with a rock, and then you don't see him ever again.
and then you see Mickey
Cloud
devastated
even
over the
just makes
death
me
of
feel
his
things.
friend. Yo, they did that shit so well in the remake, especially the in the English localization where I think it's Tifa's like Cloud, wow, and he's just like, yes, nailed it, moving on, and it's like,
That
yeah,
hair, that dress, that makeup. Yes, I know. Nailed it. Moving on. And it's just perfect.
excellent, so good.
Uh, who's the most interesting person you've met or interacted with?
I hmm. I did have so at the I mentioned earlier that when I was still doing the YouTube thing, we got invited to a gaming convention, and there was a little for the special guests. There was like a sort of pre-party type dealy, and I got invited up into someone's room to hang out for the after party of the pre-party. And I got to hang out with Team Four Star, the YouTubers. They do the DBZ abridged.
I've met them. They're really nice.
They're so nice. They're so nice,
Well, I've
and
met Taka.
and they were so focused on making sure that the space they were in was like a cool and safe space, and I thought that was so lovely. So yeah, no, I think Team Four Star is I was very happy to have met them because they were all very cool people.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like they do have honestly in Dragon Ball Z abridged some jokes that haven't really aged well,
Yeah, yeah.
but like they're not really out of a place of malice, so I can just like shrug them off, especially because they address it later better in like the Cell Saga and stuff.
Mhm. Yeah, I can like, it's worth calling out when creators are problematic, but I think it's also worth calling out when they recognize that they fucked up and do better. So,
Oh yeah, 100%.
I think it's really nice that
Like
they do.
yeah, like there's no reason as far as I know to actually cancel Team 4 Star because of like those off-color jokes from the earlier bits.
Mhm.
But, like, what was it, 2 jokes throughout most of it? They were pretty good writers, honestly.
They
They still are.
managed remarkably well for the time, yeah.
Mhm. If you could have lucid dreams, what would they be about?
I think it would be curling up in a cozy beach hut on a quiet beach in the middle of the night, just total serenity, total peace and quiet for once. Just a place where I can just sort of exist is to me the best kind of lucid dream.
I can
Uh,
totally get that, just wanting to chillax.
yeah, I don't need a lot in terms of like I don't need like powers or more like there are definitely more fun things you could do in a lucid dream and I appreciate that too, but like for me I'm just like a moment. Just a moment would be nice.
Yeah, for some people, that's when they can get those moments, is when they're sleeping.
Yeah.
What story would you say has had the biggest impact on you?
You know, I wrote down Undertale, but I did just talk about Kingdom Hearts, so it might be Kingdom Hearts. Look, I can talk about Undertale a lot because I think it is, as far as like in terms of game design, it is one of the few games that meaningfully addresses like the choice to not do violence because a lot of the games that try to do that, so like your Spec Ops the Line ones, they lock your story progress and they're like the only way you can, progress is by dumping white phosphorus on civilians. And then they're like, look what you did. Undertale is like, well, here's the fun, happy, reasonable thing where you have fun with people and don't kill them. Um, or you can do the genocide run where you tediously grind and kill everything in every area. All of the jokes, puzzles, everything gets sapped out. You only have two good boss fights, and that's basically it.
That's actually pretty funny.
And it's like they made the quote unquote evil option really tedious and unfun and banal, and I think that's perfect. And I think that makes it a much more and they don't call it good or evil. They just say it's like, do you kill or not? And I think that's a much better, a more honest framing of it than I guess a lot of games before that had a tendency to do this sort of polar, like very, very polar, like, are you doing the you're a perfect good boy forever ending, or are you doing you're an actual, like, you're literally this, like Satan? Because those it tends to drift towards that in video games where it's like the most good, the most evil, per the biases of the people making this game.
Yeah, and then there's not really any gray in between options for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
And even when they do include that, a lot of the time it's the quote unquote illusion of choice, where every single choice just leads you down the same path anyways.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a very common setup.
Mhm.
Sunflower was a prick, though. Fair. Flowey is a bit of a
I
jerk,
didn't understand that reference.
as
I
Undertale.
didn't play Undertale.
Mm-mm. You meet a flower who is, frankly, not to get controversial, bit of a jerk. Not very nice.
How can they depict a flower as an asshole? That's illegal.
He makes troll faces. It's very funny, actually, but
by giving it a face.
Mm-hmm. Pogger theme, indeed. All the music in Undertale is so good. Shoutouts to Toby Fox for getting hired to do video game music for other, like, for big companies like Nintendo. So happy for all of his success. It's so cool. It's so good for him.
I'm pretty happy to hear he's been quite successful.
Hmm.
And the sunflower says real mean things. I don't like the sunflower anymore.
It's true.
Is there anything on your mind you feel should have more attention brought to it?
Um,
Oh shit. Toby is doing the music for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet?
yeah, a little bit. Yeah, at least a little bit. That he mentioned. Um, in terms of things that more attention, there's so many. I infrastructure. Um, and for American, because I'm American,
Yeah.
public transport is a thing that,
Oh my god, thank you for being the first one to answer that.
because like the car industry has completely overtaken everything here. And so you can't
Mm-hmm.
get good public transportation built. You can't get high speed rail built because the people who are pressured to spend money on things that aren't cars just give it to Elon Musk for gadget bond shit like the loop, which doesn't work, um, performs poorly, especially compared to its concept, which was bad from the get go and is just a huge waste of everyone's time and money. But if you say that on Twitter, thousands of weird nerds will come into your DMs to tell you that you don't get it, actually. He's a big genius, even though he's just a very grumpy bigot who got cucked by a trans woman.
Nice. Did you play that sound effect? Oh
No.
wait, no, that was my sound alerts, wasn't it? That was perfectly timed sound alert to them, like, giving you applause.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Banana.
Thank you, banana. Hey, Pinky. Hope you got some good rest. Elon Musk is getting sued for lying about self-driving cars?
Hell
Good.
yeah.
You should be sued for more.
Yeah, absolutely.
And yeah, infrastructure is such an important topic that most people don't even give a shit about because, oh, I don't want my taxes to go up. Bitch,
Yeah.
you'd have to pay less daily with higher tax rates.
Also, you know what would make you pay less? Being able to live without a car.
Or being able to not have to worry about paying for food,
Mhm.
shelter,
Mhm.
healthcare, all that fun stuff.
Yup. Also, as another note, I think some people still act like systemic racism isn't a thing anymore, and it super is. And
It super is.
yeah, that's a problem that we should all be very conscious of, generally speaking.
Mhm.
But yeah.
And there are people that be like, infrastructure needs to be updated to combat the incoming global or effects of global warming. Yeah, the climate crisis. Thank you for that. We're just talking a little lefty politics. Somebody played FBI Open Up. But yes, the climate crisis does need to be addressed with infrastructure changes as well as limiting the big corporations because they're the ones doing the worst damage. What would you say you rebel against?
Hmm. Well, definitely the things we just mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
Like any kind of, you know, bigotry is a multi-faced thing. There's all sorts in, all over the world. In America, we're seeing a lot of that enter into legislation right now, especially with trans stuff, which is rough. Also, we'll say certain agents of the state who exist to propagate laws made by the people in charge to protect their shit. Uh, you know, police officers and things, and also landlords. Fuck landlords.
Yeah,
I'm just like, I don't know. I was wondering.
I'm
Oh, go ahead.
personally of the opinion
Mm, mm.
sex work is work.
Of course.
Being a landlord is not
Mhm.
just taking money.
Landlords wouldn't last a day.
If you sub right now, will you get the pay? Probably payout is tomorrow. Keep lining them up. I'll keep knocking them down. Perfect teamwork.
Yeah, gender norms. Fuck them.
Yeah, fuck gender norms. There are good individuals, but a cab.
Yeah, the issue is that, like, good intentions don't really accomplish a whole lot in the face of, like, the fact that as an institution, the police are their primary job is to enforce laws that were decided by all of the people with power.
Yep.
So they can't really do a lot of good because they're always going to be hamstrung by the fact that they are enforcing laws that are not meant to be just, but rather to protect rich people's stuff. That is the
Yeah, more or less.
so
Side note,
mm,
good Crimson.
very
But
nice.
but what was I gonna say? Perfect. I like that we both just started looking around randomly for what I was about to say.
It's around here somewhere, I swear.
It's gotta be.
It is fun
Wow.
sometimes just to whip around, give your NSA agent a little wink, you know.
Remind them that you care about them. I care about you, Jim. Please don't leave your wife.
Sorry I keep
I wonder how many
disconnecting.
Jims I just freaked out.
I'm sorry I keep disconnecting my webcam when I'm done streaming. You still have my phone, it's okay.
Cops are a publicly funded army working for the 1%.
Correct.
Yeah, 100%. Right, that's what I was going to say. Thank you, Solaris. Essentially, as you were saying before, the police are there to be to enforce the laws that were placed before them, and even with every single police officer on a force being, let's say, progressive leaning at the very least, it is still a racist system, so it will produce a racist outcome due to the income gaps, due to where people had been forced through redlining. None of that has been changed.
Mhm.
But yeah,
And
that's essentially what I wanted to say.
as it's Sensical makes a very, very good point too, that Native
Yes,
Americans
sensible.
get disproportionately screwed over as well, and that's also definitely worth mentioning.
Oh yeah, Canada's terrible about that too. That honestly sounds we all are in danger. That does sound like what's it? A bit of bad mindset, I guess. 'Cause like, yeah, there are bad people, like let's say in the ghetto, but what options do they have? They turn to crime or they die. They need something. They need infrastructure out there, and a lot of people don't get those handouts or don't get those handouts, so they turn to those negative consequences or they turn to those negative options, which lead to the bad consequences, not necessarily meaning that those individuals are bad people.
Yeah, there's a lot of it's easy to look at someone who does something like stealing and just say, "Well, stealing's bad," and not really look at why they did or if they would do that if they had all of their needs met. And I think that generally speaking, if someone has all of their needs met, they're not really going to be that motivated to be doing crime. I think it's just one of those things. Yeah, it's
True
exactly
Solaris.
Solaris. Yeah, that's it. You get pushed
It's
there by
not
a
a
system
choice.
that doesn't care about you, and that's we can fix that. That doesn't have
Yeah,
to be that way. We just need to figure out how to get people to 'cause I think a lot of, like, the people that are holding out against that, some people are definitely just they just don't care. They don't have the empathy, I guess, but I think for a lot of
yeah, that's a
people
very small minority, though.
it's there's a sort of baseline fear of losing what you have, and not trusting that if everyone tries to make sure everyone has enough, that you'll be able to have anything. Oh yeah. Look, that the prison song by System of a Down, 100%
Yeah,
relevant still. It will never not be relevant. The American prison system is a nightmare.
good lord, it is. For-profit prisons are disgusting. Media also paints them on the bad side more for things like police. Funny thing is, one police officer talked with a reporter in private. The entire system was unstable for a few days just because a police officer told them about the fucking problems with the funding. Yep. Unfortunately, there's like a few corrupt higher up ones, I'm guessing, I don't actually know, then that essentially, well, from what I've heard, there are people that want to speak out about the injustices in the police force that they're on, but if they do, they could be responding to a call out there for a shooter, and then they call for backup, and nobody on the police force comes to back them up. And that can lead good people to get into terrible situations where they end up in worse situations.
Yeah, and it's worth because you mentioned
It,
that you are Canadian,
I
and
am.
as is Crimson, and I'm talk when I talk about the police, I talk about the American
Hmm.
police, and I'm in New York City, and I talk about the NYPD, and I think um the Canadian police might have a slightly different funding situation than the American police, which I don't know if you're familiar, but the American police have a ton of surplus military equipment that they get to use. Um,
I've heard stories.
yeah, I guess it's worth noting, out of Canadian police, Mounties seem okay. I don't know if they're technically cops, but
They are cops. They're just well, RCMP is Royal Canadian Mounted Police, so it's like
mm,
a standard state federal police kind of thing.
okay.
And then there are occasional cities that do privatize their police, which sucks.
Like, if there's more of a public militia kind of dealy where there's more accountability and the Mounties get to keep their cool uniforms, then that's fine.
Oh, they don't even wear the red cool uniforms.
What?
That's only for show,
I
for
guess
like
that makes
parades and
sense.
shit. Otherwise, honestly, they look like American police, driving around in cruisers,
My image of
bulletproof
Canada
vests.
is shattering right now.
They've got their tasers that they tend to use more than their firearms, but they do have firearms as well. Yeah,
Yeah.
they only actually use horses for like parades and shit.
There are mounted police. Yeah, there are mounted police in New York, but they're New York police, so the horses are
Yeah,
mostly more for show than anything else. And like again, we have America's got a real policing problem and a real privatized prison problem and all sorts of stuff. So
yeah. The RCMP were like, well, we got to distinguish ourselves from America, so let's not use our firearms as much, but we got to have more firearm use than the British.
mm-hmm,
So let's use tasers. That'll be a fine non-lethal alternative, right? And then they still go and get people killed with tasers.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah,
Still haven't watched Super Troopers 2. I haven't watched 1 or 2.
I've watched the first one.
America has problems, period.
This is very true.
Understatement.
Um,
You've watched the first one?
yeah, I watched the first one. The thing is, like, there's a lot of jokes in that movie that have not aged well, but unsurprisingly,
I mean, it's from the 80s, isn't it?
mm-hmm, I think so. But yeah, there's a lot of propaganda stuff in the US. There's a lot of pro police movies and news segments and media of all stripes. Like I can't say that it's not, the same. I can't say that I can't speak to Canada how it is in Canada, but in the US, there is a low level worship of the police. Um and it's They're accountable to no one. They're barely accountable to themselves. It's just it's like a cab that we can move on, but yeah, just like fuck the police.
Yeah, honestly, we're not that much better. We just we have a more progressive face, but we are essentially copying you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Like seriously, a lot of our influences, did G20 riots in 2010? No, I don't pay attention to Toronto. I'm Vancouver, so I have to hate you guys. Uh, where was I going to move on to? Oh yeah, let's move on from political. What do you wish was illegal? I am
I
actually okay with political conversation, so you're aware.
Okay. Yeah, I mean if you weren't, this would be a hell of a time to find out.
I know, right?
But in terms of what I wish was illegal, I don't think it's okay for basic human needs like housing and healthcare to be
Commodified?
profit incentives. Like there should not be no one should be allowed to profit off of the fact that I need a place to live. No one should be allowed to profit off of the fact that I need like healthcare. Like that's despicable. It's holding
Yeah.
basic needs hostage for the sake of profit. Um, I think it shouldn't be allowed. I like generally speaking, people have this whole thing about, oh, have fun with your stream, Vespa. Thank you for coming in. Um,
Thanks for stopping by. Have fun.
I think that like people have this whole idea is like, oh, you don't want the state to do it. You won't trust the state. And it's like, I'm not saying there can't be problems with the government handling these things, but I don't think that it in any way is like a worse alternative to the privatized version of all this stuff.
Yeah, like, don't
It
get me wrong. I hate the state, but I hate corporations more.
mm-hmm. Here, I'm gonna do a fun thing. I'm gonna look up the price of insulin in America because it's
Ooh.
not. Oh, cool. The autocomplete has insulin cost America versus Canada. Um,
Oh, perfect. You got Canada too. I don't gotta pull that up.
let's see. In 2018, the average American insulin user spent $3,490 on insulin versus 725 for Canada. And that was 4 years ago, and the price of insulin has skyrocketed in America. Um, yeah, so the average price per vial across all types of insulin, um, yeah, America's more than like 10 times as much. It's awful, and there's no reason for it.
Jesus.
It's not a supply chain thing. It's just they want to make money, and they
That's
can get away with
literally
it.
it.
Yeah, like it's also the other thing that I think should be illegal is Disney's habit of this is a hard switch, but like me. No, but this is a hard switch to intellectual property stuff, but Disney can't be allowed to hold on to their shit forever.
Oh God, I know.
That the mouse will be free and it will be chaos. And I cannot wait. I cannot wait for Winnie the Pooh is already public domain, and we're getting a Winnie the Pooh horror movie, which is great. And when the mouse is out of the house, it's going to be fucking buck wild, and I am so excited because
It's gonna
now
be literal when I get my hands on that fucking mouse.
it's like because it's like the people that were helping Disney keep a tight grip on that copyright are mad at Disney for daring to acknowledge that gay people exist. So it's not a set in stone thing that Disney's gonna be able to clinch it once again. Choke it. Very,
Nice.
very, very good, Crimson. But yeah.
Yeah, Disney has been putting or pushing the copyright owner length so long, it's frustrating.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They keep
Like,
stretching it out.
when will it tear? Honestly, a lot of their intellectual properties should be public domain already, but they just wanted to keep making money.
Yeah.
Disney died like a million years ago. He's not making any money off of it.
It's also like,
You gotta head out? Okie doke. See you later, Crimson.
the it's nice talking with you. But yeah,
I like him.
what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I was just gonna say that
Copyright.
the Disney's like Disney's entertainment monopoly is bad. Um, which I don't think is a terribly controversial thing, but the fact that Disney is just acquiring like everything and making it more Disney is like a bad thing for creativity and expression and stuff.
It really is.
Because like I've seen a lot of people talking about AI generated art in relation to what that does for art as an industry. And I think it's a hard question because I think it would be
There are degrees.
well, because I think it would be a different discussion if it was viable to be an artist without having to struggle to survive. Oh, hey, Paul Divine.
Howdy, howdy.
You're welcome. Um, the I just think like 'cause AI generated art because it brings up this discussion of like, oh well, you just press a button or you just teach this AI and it doesn't take any skill, but it's sort of the same mindset as like, oh well, this perfectly realistic painting of a person is more skill than this modern art piece that's just three colors in a portrait, but the underlying notion of it is that art has to be this almost athletic, sports-esque display of talent as opposed to trying to say something and trying to make you feel something. And I think it's an unfortunate metric or an unfortunate way to approach art where you're looking at it for, well, how hard was this to make? Could I have made this? Instead of, what am I feeling? Because like all the things that I've ever done or said that made anyone feel anything have been done before. I don't really think I've ever, said something that's a totally original idea. But if I presented it in a way that is new to you, that makes you feel something, I don't, is that somehow worth less because someone else has definitely said that thing? I don't know. I don't think so personally. I don't think that's a very, I don't know. I don't think that's a nice way to approach art if it's something you want to enjoy, is my thought on it.
Yeah. Like, honestly, there is influence of AI generation in a lot of art these days. Basically every bit of art. Hell, my VTuber, our VTubers,
Yeah.
has influence of AI art. But then there is something to be said where there's like a contest for painters, and then somebody enters a fully AI generated painting and it takes first place with cash prize.
Yeah,
That
that's
I can see is a little more sketchy, but I don't have any issue with people appreciating like doll-E stuff.
mhm. And I think some of it's like it's unfortunately it's not like a discussion that happens in a vacuum. It's a discussion that happens in a context where artists who spend their whole life doing this have to do it to make money if they want to keep doing art. Like we're forced to work and have a profession and be able to pay for things and it's so much harder to do that nowadays, especially for artists. So, yeah, in the context of capitalism, it's the AI stuff. I'm like, yeah, of course I understand why people are upset about that because that can be a problem. Because a lot of the, sort of differences between the work of an AI and the work of an actual person, a lot of those differences in meaning or nuance are going to be lost if what you need is, a piece of background art, or if what you need is like, if people aren't appreciating it for nuance or emotional content as much as they are just sort of being like, that's pretty, or that's, technically well executed. And I think that's sort of like, I don't have an answer. I wish I had a real silver bullet of an insight as to what the where to go with that, but it's tough. It's really like my heart goes out for artists who are having to compete with all this. That's terrible.
Honestly, it is. It's such a minefield to even talk about in some spaces. Oh,
Oh, hello,
that
Crimson.
welcome back, Crimson. Let's shift gears a little bit. What would you say is the weirdest way you've met somebody?
Um, I think definitely that the story I keep having my answers
The
apply to
gaming
multiple.
convention?
Yeah, when I was
Mhm.
talking to someone and she was like, "Oh, hey, you're cool. You want to come up to this hotel room later where a bunch of us are hanging out?" I'm like, sure." Oh, you know what? Actually, to tie it in, I love a good continuity. When I was younger, my family used to go to the Rehoboth Beach for our summer vacation and rent a beach house and all that. And um, we would, I would sneak out sometimes to go on the beach, which is why I have such a fond and vivid sort of memory of beaches at night. And one time I did that, I ran into a group of teens that were older than me, or not even teens, they were like early 20s. I think they were college students. And they, for whatever reason, they saw this random kid on the beach and they're like, "Yeah, we'll hang out. Sure." Which now that I'm thinking, maybe I should have been a bit more cautious about that, but it turned out fine. Um They let me sneak some of their vodka, and I didn't do super great with it, but they're like, "What a fun kid!" And then we parted, and it was a good night. So that's
Well, as long as you got home safe.
yup.
Yeah, my friend is has a kid, and she is very much like, "Yeah, we're glad you're actually kind of her stand-in aunt,
Mm,
'cause,
mm,
like, if she has to go to somebody because she partied a little too hard and doesn't want mom and other parent, I don't remember their preferred,
mhm, mhm.
honorific at the top of my head,
Sure.
Moogie, and if they don't wanna go to their mom or Moogie, they can call me, and they will have somebody that is like, "Oh, you got drunk? I won't tell. Go sleep."
Yeah, it is really good to have that layer of security.
I mean, obviously, I will tell my friend later, but I'm gonna make sure that the child is in a safe space, getting the attention they need and
Mhm.
resting,
Oh,
but,
absolutely.
like, well, I don't wanna freak the kid out, like, "Oh, you showed up here? Well, I'm gonna call your mom right now."
Mhm. Yeah.
No, I'm gonna tell your mom in, like, 5 years.
Yeah, you gotta have that nice, like, chill space. It's good. It's important.
Mhm, and, like, she is definitely not gonna be a helicopter parent kinda thing,
Mhm.
just from how I know her and how I've seen her raising her child.
That's good. Also,
What's Mhm,
just
go
as
ahead.
an addendum, as a almost corollary answer to the weirdest way I've met someone, just Craigslist personals, and I will leave it at that.
Twinsy.
Rip.
Crip? What do you mean? We're 8 years later.
I every not every day, but fairly often still, I'm like, I just want to go on Craigslist personals, not to meet anyone, just to bask in the old familiar warmth of Craigslist personals. But they killed it, and
They unfortunately did.
this is one of the many reasons why being anti-sex work is bad because it leads to Craigslist personals going away.
Uh-huh. That's the worst, outcome of there. Now I have to go to Grinder when I wanna hook up.
Mhm, mhm. Terrible.
Ugh,
No one wants to party with the
what a bit.
chasers on Grinder.
Well, I mean, I gotta be in the mood for it.
Fair.
Would you ever try space tourism if given the chance?
I hate I wanna be like, "Yeah, I love space," and I do love space, but I have our planet's dying, and I'm like, I if there was a situation where I could do space tourism without it being, actively
Yeah, if it's like an ideal situation, there's no real ramifications, there's no
Hell yeah.
obscene amounts of money going into the pockets of few from it, that kind of thing. It's accessible to
Abs
everybody.
Absolutely, I would love to go into space.
Mhm. At least once for me. I just wanna see the stars from outside the atmosphere.
Mhm. It's funny because, like, it would be an enclosed vessel in a very dangerous, like, hostile space to us, like, living outside of said vessel,
Mhm.
and I totally love space, but I have a just the worst fear of deep ocean, so the equivalent ride in a submarine would be I could not possibly. No way. Absolutely not.
Mood.
Couldn't do it. So yeah, yeah, that's definitely that's my stance.
Yeah, no, I would be a lot more interested in checking out space than I would be checking out the deep sea.
Mhm.
There's a lot more pressure in the deep sea than there is out in space.
Oh,
But you
yeah.
do gotta worry about radiation in the space, so
Yeah,
it's
that is
a
true.
toss.
Oh,
What do you resent paying for the most?
uh, hmm. Housing? My transition? Um, I the tr housing is more of a generalized anger at the system in general, and once again, in case it went by earlier, fuck landlords. Um, the
Big
transition
mood?
the transition thing is just like, not every trans person is going to do a medical transition. It is not a requirement to be validly trans. It's not,
Not at all.
that's trans medicalist garbage. We don't need it. But for those of us who do want medical transition, the hoops and resources you need for it are
Oh,
so
God.
high and so like so rigid in their sort of conforming to this very binary understanding of being trans. Um,
Yeah,
it sucks. It's awful and it's extra frustrating because it feels like I have to go through all of this to get somewhere close to where a lot of the majority of people started from in terms of being comfortable with myself, and that feels awful. And that's one of those things where it's like I'm glad that, well, until recently, the youth have a better time of it. It's like, oh, a new friend has followed. I'm not seeing their
yeah, thanks
name.
for the follow there. I
Yeah.
just didn't wanna interrupt your thoughts.
Yeah, no, it's just like, I just think it's one of those things that, like, I grew up in a small town, that was very, the general vibe was sort of traditionalist, religious, Christian, um, and very heteronormative and very, like, this was back when people were dropping the F slur in casual conversation and no one really cared. Um, and
Quote unquote
so,
good old days.
mhm. And so, like, my model for not feeling totally comfortable with being, my assigned gender of being a boy, um, my model for that was the Rocky Horror Picture Show. And the only space where I could explore that was a live performance of the Rocky Horror Picture Show, where it was generally accepted that sometimes people show up in drag. Um, and then after that, I found kink spaces and I found that community. And I was like, oh, there's like a whole thing. I guess I have a fetish. And then I had this great thing. I was like, I wonder if you could do, sissification, but maybe remove the part where it's like a bad thing that you're doing it, and it's just you're wearing the clothes and it's fine and good. Actually, like really wandering around, like, oh, she'll get it eventually. Um, I have a very vivid memory of the Rocky Horror Picture Show, going to a showing, and um, I got well, I shoplifted some of these because I didn't want to face the cashiers, but you know, little kitten heel, some pumps, some fishnets, a skirt, and my plan was to put all that on, get in my car, get to the showing before my mom came home from work. She came home early. We had a moment, and she's like, "Oh, your legs look pretty good." And I was like, oh, this is, oh, I'm
Oh,
cool. And it's just like, hmm, I wonder what that feeling was. Euphoria, perhaps. Unfortunately, it would take until after college before I actually realized I was, it even had like, I was like, oh, I'm trans, but like, it's so obvious looking back. And that's the thing. Kids nowadays don't have to go through this, like my I want to say my slut arc as if it's over, but it's not over, but like my
mine's
unhealthy
just beginning.
my unhealthy slut arc, we'll say, the I'm using other people for external validation to avoid thinking about
Mhm.
my gender arc. Um that arc, like, I don't think that the kids need to go through it. I don't think that the new up and comings need it. It left a lot of scars on me, and I think that I would be so happy if the kids just never knew, and I think that's good, and I hope that we can I hope that we can make that happen because America is following the almighty lead of Turf Island and really fucking things up. So
Unfortunately,
let's hope we can fix it.
does the slut arc ever end? No,
No,
not unless you want it to.
I mean I found out that like I'm poly, so it's more of it's not just being, it's having multiple romantic relationships and also being a slut. It's very important that both are true.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm actually arrow myself, so it's just important to be a slut for me.
Honestly, hell yeah. Oh, nice, Crimson.
Yeah,
Polydarity,
crimson's sweetie.
poly solidarity, polydarity.
Yeah,
Not proud of that
don't worry,
one.
I'm an ally. Some of my best friends are poly.
Hmm,
I've also got plenty of straight allies in my Discord server too. I'm
nice.
actually building a pretty ace and poly. I think I skipped a step somewhere.
I mean,
Just be yourself.
look, if you want your life to be a nice, cushy pillow of just love and you don't want to do the physical stuff, I think that's just as ideal as the opposite, where you just have your life being a squishy pillow of ass. I think those are both
Yeah,
wonderful scenarios, and whatever balance of those things is something worth pursuing. It's my
yeah,
stump speech.
everybody has their own balances that they want to hit with that, and there's
Hmm.
nothing wrong with wherever anybody lands with that. Just don't hurt others. Do.
Exactly. And being poly doesn't mean you have a free pass to just do whatever. It's about communication and boundaries.
Yep. I have mentioned that I am in a relationship, but I'm actually more arrow. She's actually ace. So
Hmm.
we're open.
Oh,
Yeah. So it's just, hey, I'm gonna go do this person. They're like, okay,
nice.
and that's it.
What you're
It's just about
saying
communications.
is that you're available.
I am,
Ooh,
especially if I get your Vroid model.
that is a good point.
Let's jump on to the next question, I guess. Which
Yeah.
workers would you say have the worst jobs?
Retail. Um,
That's a very common one.
that's a biased gut reaction from having worked retail. Um,
Totally fair.
I do think,
Especially being trans. Were you
yeah.
pre or post
Oh, pre.
coming out?
So I was
Oh,
still
pre.
like,
Okay.
in terms of like privilege, as far as anyone could tell aesthetically, I was pretty I got off pretty easy on that.
Yeah, so you just had to deal with the standard shitty retail life without adding on people don't like trans people in retail either.
Yeah, and like
That's my girlfriend.
it's oh, it's I my sympathies. 'Cause
Mhm.
I worked at a Target, and then I specifically worked mostly at the Starbucks in the Target, and, like, I think any way that you drink coffee is completely valid, but the way people ask for coffee is nightmarish, and you should feel but, like, ugh. It's part
Yeah, you should at least say thank you when they give you the coffee.
also, like, I have a thermometer. If you told me to make your coffee extra hot, I know I made it extra hot. Don't tell me that it was cold, you
Honestly, I swear to God, there's some people, "Hey, this coffee is too hot," or "This coffee is too cold. Make me a new one that's hotter." You can take it back. You go out of their site for, like, few minutes, come back and give them the same coffee, and they'll
Mhm.
be like, "Oh, perfect, thank you."
Yeah, yeah. No, I think
They just wanna feel in control.
mhm. Yeah, I think, like, retail just has it awful. I do think, like,
Yes.
truckers and stuff have a hard time as well. There's a lot of jobs that I'm just like,
Honestly, yeah, truckers need more respect.
yeah,
Not the Freedom Convoy, if you know what they are.
mm, mm,
White nationalist group trying to take over Canada,
yeah,
but they're failing.
yeah, I remember hearing about that.
Yeah, they're just basically a laughing stock here now.
Good. Good to hear it. Ah, Crimson also confirms they suck. Excellent.
Yes. Um, my favorite answer to which workers have the worst jobs is workers. Because
That's
honestly, I don't like any, what's the phrase? Coercive employment,
yeah.
and our current system is inherently coercive.
I really earnestly believe that we are at a point technologically and we could make the infrastructure support it where not everyone would have to work and that would be okay. Like
Yeah.
there's this I don't want to just say it's American, but in America it's really bad this notion that like you have to have a job and if you don't have a job you're lazy and laziness
Oh, yeah,
doesn't
that's
exist. Laziness is usually like people want, people have different needs in terms of, you know,
how much rest they need before they get back to working 40 hours, a third of their life, not including commutes.
yeah, and like also they might just be like neurodivergent. I don't know why I let my voice crack so much. But yeah, no, they might just be neurodivergent. I don't know. Maybe some of us have like executive disorder. I don't know. This is
Yeah,
a
there's
thing.
plenty of people that do struggle with quote unquote real jobs.
Yeah,
There's
like
plenty of work out there for everybody, essentially.
mhm.
Like with EI or not EI, UBI, there have been places that have tried it out. And when they tried it out, people hardly actually left their job to go sit at home and play video games all day. Most
Yeah.
people appreciated the extra money in their pocket and they actually felt freer. The people that did go home and play all day video games, they typically ended up in some sort of content creation. So they're kind of working still too.
Yeah. I think like people want to do stuff. Like
100%. People want to create. They want to create products. They want to create content. They want to, people inherently like creating and sharing that with others. You don't need to force people to do it just because you want a bottom dollar.
yeah, it's just like I think people are so used to people are so inundated with this notion that you have to like hustle and grind and that things like hobbies are as valuable as they can be turned into careers and it's more than anything to me it just makes me sad because it's like what a what a sad outlook on life that all there is work 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 and then you die like
Now, don't forget spending money. They want you
yeah
to work and spend your money. but not they won't spend theirs.
Yep. Because like, I've seen people argue about the different kinds of anti, anti-capitalism, but like, I think we can all agree that there's not a good, like, capitalism isn't something worth keeping around.
I have dollars, I am a bottom. They want bottom's dollar. True.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there are a lot of different directions we could take our society and stuff, but, like, that kind of utopian thinking is really far out there. It's not going to be accomplished in our lives,
Oh, of
but
course
we
not.
can get the ball rolling towards it so the future generations that have a better idea of what would work with that world would be able to guide it.
Yeah, and I think the first step would just be like, hey, we have a bunch of like studies and stuff that say that the 40-hour work week is actually already too much. Like you people in terms of if you just want people to do their like productive work during the day and then like be free to do whatever the fuck they want, you basically pay people for like 2 to 3 hours a day, and that's gonna be most of your productive work stuff. And then people should just be free outside of that because like
Honestly, yeah. Free and with more cash.
and with
Because people
more
with free
mm,
time and cash to burn, they'll be putting that into the economy, trust me. Ford figured that one out.
mm-hmm. And also like I don't know, we'll get better stuff that way because when you're not burning people out, they make better things. I can
Yeah, they
I
make better products, higher quality.
I can say that from experience because I very recently burnt out of my software engineering work, and by the end of it, my work was not as good because I just could barely do anything because had been ground down into just nerves and nothing. And I think that that's like so normal in the software engineering industry, and especially normal in game development. And it's like,
Oh god.
why?
I'm
For
actually
what?
glad I didn't get into that one.
Yeah, I was planning to, and then I learned about how the work-life balance was like, no, absolutely not.
Yeah,
Fuck that.
honestly, same. I was taking college courses for it. Like, I was seriously considering game design as my future career, and then it's like, "Oh, I'll just likely end up working at E fucking A Games, and
Mhm.
whatever I pour my heart into, they're just gonna rip down to the most monetizable assets?" No.
Yep. It
And
is a
aside from that, it would be building up an indie studio all on your own. I
mhm.
needed work.
Mhm. Mhm. It is kind of it's very funny how much our backgrounds overlap.
I know, right?
There really is
If only
a
you worked in construction right now, we'd be complete twinsies.
it is funny how much there is a stereotype for trans women as programmers, and I'm like, I don't think that's true, but I also know a lot of trans women who are programmers, myself included. It just
I was
happens.
actually thinking about that with the anti-capitalist stuff.
I need to put some
Like,
like
there's
oh,
a
go ahead.
lot of trans people that are anti-capitalist slash
Mhm.
communist leaning.
Yeah, because we've seen what happens when we're outside the when we're othered by the status quo and need like resources that the
Yeah,
system doesn't want to give us. So yeah, it's just easy to get pushed into those spaces. I was just thinking like
yeah.
I should put the stereotypical programmer socks on my throne, the trans flag thigh highs.
You should. I should honestly probably add more stuff to my throne.
I wanted to put like insects and like the infamous 50-gallon barrel of lube on Amazon, but then I'm like, if if given enough time, someone would call those bluffs, and I don't actually want to like.
Hey, yo, what?
Oh, are you not familiar with the 50-gallon drum of?
Amazon 50-gallon.
Oh,
Oh my god.
I'm so happy I get to be the one that tells you about this. Oh, this is lovely.
Holy shit.
Yeah, you could just get a fifty
It's
gallon
one
drum
of
of lube.
those. It's one of those big blue barrels.
Mm-hmm. You could take a bath in it.
Click, add to throne,
Look,
description.
I'm in a New York apartment. We do
I
not have the space.
would use this. Oh, I do not have the space for it either, but who's dropping $2,000?
That's the thing. People will do like people will do it. I don't trust anyone for a fucking
I've
second for
been told.
that. Also, like, if someone did do that to me, I would be mad, but also it'd be my fault, and also it would be very funny. So I'd be like, very nice, good job. I'll have to figure out what to do about this. But yeah,
Hey, Brittany, why is that big blue barrel being wheeled into your apartment? Don't worry about it.
don't worry about it. Look, we're gonna install a tap, and we're gonna figure out how the sex equivalent of a keg stand works, and we're gonna have a great time.
We will.
Get a big old slip and slide.
That would be perfect. Only I had stairs to go down.
Okay, that might be advanced, but that's okay. That's okay. Anything will
We will
work.
figure it out.
Get some poppers.
What change would you like to see in the VTuber community?
Um, I see a lot of, I guess, two things. One, I see a lot of focus on this sort of uh like pre-debut to like hyping up this big sort of moment of everything coming together. And I don't think like, I understand why people do that. I just feel like it's so stressful, and it's a lot of it in some cases people it prevents people from what we were talking about earlier, just doing it. And it also puts like a lot of monetary pressure on like, oh, you have to, pay for the assets, you have to pay for the model, for the good rigging, for like all of this stuff. And it's like it's gatekeeping VTubing, and I feel like that's a shame.
Honestly, I agree. You don't have to do a debut. Honestly, I never did. I
Every
just started, kept going,
Yeah,
and I didn't get noticed until I actually appeared in I actually got to enter T the Demon's Smasher Pass, and then I did one on my own, and then Twitter noticed me.
nice, nice.
But yeah, what was I gonna say? I was gonna say something.
Mhm. I mean, I have more to say if you can't think of it,
Oh
but
yeah, go right ahead.
I was just gonna say that the other major thing is that like I see a lot of networking posts, a lot of the like summoning new friends type stuff. And I've made friends already through VTubing. There are people that I think of as friends, and I'm very happy that we were able to connect. Um, but I do see a lot of like dressing up mutual following as just being friends as a baseline. Like, it's fine to hope for friends, and it's fine to be want to be friends with people that you might collab with or stuff like that, but a networking post is a networking post, and like you can't just because, I go to your summoning circle and we both follow each other doesn't I to me we're not friends yet because we don't know each other. And I don't know that that's because I've seen people being like, oh, everyone was my friend, but then once they hit a certain thing, they purged all their followers, and I guess we're not friends anymore. I'm like, you weren't friends to begin with, and that's okay. You can have relationships that start off a little removed and maybe a little transactional. It doesn't, it's okay if you're not friends immediately. Oh, hey, Echo. Echo, I finally have a
Yay!
Discord. Hooray. But yeah, it's just one of those things that like I feel like there's people who don't have there's younger people doing that they're setting themselves up to get hurt when they realize that people are exchanging basic sort of social media capital, and that you know they're not friends until you really get to know each other and have that dynamic.
Yeah, you're not really my friend until you're on my talk show.
Exactly. Yeah, networking's hard, and it
Networking's
is
a bitch.
I also just want to chat and play games with cool people, and I think it's like it can be a hard space to navigate, the line, like, are we friends? Is this like, what is this? what is any relationship when you know each other just online? And I think that all this like, oh, looking for new friends stuff is blurring that line, and that could cause a lot of people grief, and I feel bad that that's the case. So I would like to see, people be a bit more like, I'm looking for new people to, maybe be a bit more like, let's be honest about it, right?
Yeah, like if you're posting a tweet or a summoning circle looking for new friends, the least you could do is ask them their interest when they reply, or ask them about their interests when they reply, not just hit that follow and say, "Hey, you look cool."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the
Also,
important thing is actually interacting with each other regularly.
yep, and that's the attitude I try to take towards like follower counts and stuff. Is like obviously there's a certain degree to which like I wasn't concerned about getting to 50 followers on Twitch because that's what you need to hit affiliate. But like beyond that, it's cool to see the numbers, but like it's better to focus on just the community and focus on like engagement's a very cold term, but you know what I mean. Like focus on the people that you are.
The interactions between
Yeah.
the people in your Discord, the people in the Discords you're in, or communities, whatever platforms you're actually on. I'm just biased towards Discord.
Hmm, hmm.
Yeah. And yeah, honestly, most people that are in my chat are people that are also content creators that I've been in their chats. I've checked out their content too.
Hmm. It is funny
I actually
how,
like checking out all their stuff.
yeah, no, it is very funny to me how much like because of the way that it works on Twitter, because of sort of the insular nature of it sometimes, where I'm like, so much of us are each other's audiences, and our audiences are in turn more of us, and it's so funny to me because it's like it works, it sustains itself. It's like this sort of moment of critical mass where you sort of bridge the gap from being like a person with a following of other creators to, oh, sometimes there's you know
There's like
non
people you don't recognize regularly commenting on your stuff. And it's like,
exactly, yeah.
oh shit, people notice.
But
But
yeah.
yeah, it that's literally how content creators get started. It's with the support of other smaller creators, other bigger creators reaching out a hand, and it's just that interaction between the creators is what draw random viewers in that just like to lurk or just sometimes like to say hi.
Mhm, mhm.
And that's honestly how you build the community and not the following.
Exactly.
Honestly, a following, that's just a number on Twitter. The community is the people that actually interact with you.
Yeah, I see people being like, "I can't believe I hit X number," and I don't wanna say that like, "Oh, you're stupid for thinking that's a cool thing." No, be excited. That's fine. It's fine to be excited.
I'm gonna post an excited post when I hit 1,000.
Hell yeah. I promised my little threads that I would be posting flesh at 1,000. It might even be mine. Well, it might even be human, I should say. Um, but yeah, actually, earlier today I had 200 on Twitter, and I was like, "Oh, neat." So like,
Oh, nice.
I'm not like above feeling that sweet dopamine rush of like, yes, number good.
Yeah, people are noticing. Oh, trust me, I totally get that.
And like, I don't know, I do like it's easy to get sucked into like the analytics functions of these platforms because they want you to to hyperfixate. Yes, mods are
Oh,
sleep
yeah, they
post flesh.
really do.
Um, Olive can't stop you now post flesh. But yeah, the like you get so much information on how people are interacting, where they're coming from, what they're doing, how long they're doing it, um, the length of their various assets as it may be, and so on and so forth. But like the I think it's rather than viewing it as useful, sometimes I just like to look at it and be like, this is wild that, this reply I made to someone, this flippant reply I made somewhere, like thousands of people just looked at it and read it, and some of them even engaged with it. And it's like, cool, neat, that's fun. Like, Or like just like, oh yeah, I noticed the other day I was looking at the my Twitch stream analytics and it was like, oh yeah, here's the number of people that came in from like the Twitter post you did announcing this, from your go live notification, yada yada. But then it's like, here's the people that were just searching the IRL chatting category and they're just like, yes. And I'm like, cool, awesome, hell yeah. And that's like, I don't know, that's fun. That to me that's fun, seeing how just how people work sometimes. I just have this sort of anthropological drive to be like, how do people arrive at my content? How did you get here?
Yeah, and one of the things that I really like about Twitch's analytics, honestly, is it tells you whose community do you share viewers with.
Mm-hmm.
And like it can surprise you with some shit. Like obviously, I'm not that surprised that my friend Praxis in Theory and I share about a third of my audience. But then I also share 10% or what was it, 19%? I gotta double check this. Yes, yes, humble brag. Don't worry about it. Right. Zero EXE, I share 19% of my viewers with.
Oh
And then I
wow.
share 10% of my viewers with Raku.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like I was browsing my analytics and then it was like, oh shit, I share an audience with them.
Yeah, it's funny how like I was looking because I was like, oh, you know, if I make, because before I was actually thinking about like, do I want to run my own stream while I'm on yours? And I ended up doing that, but like I was like, oh well, I want to make sure that like my people are still seeing it. And then I realized, oh, a lot of my people are also your people, because like that little followed by informational thing on Twitter is just like, oh, okay, so all of these people follow both of us actually. We share
Yeah,
so
I
many
do have a bit
mutuals.
of that influence that I shout somebody out and then I've got people that are automatically interested.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, this talk show has been a great way to meet people.
Yeah, this is a
I've gotten
really
to
cool
meet tons
format.
of people I do.
Also, Zach, that is cool that you got here through a friend of yours. Like,
Awesome.
I
I
can't
mean,
believe there's
that's
actual word
like
of mouth.
networking. Yeah, at every size, there's word of mouth. It's something that people got to realize a little sooner.
Oh yeah.
Because even at like 2 followers on Twitch, you're a public figure.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you would realize it or not, it's honestly true. And the sooner you start thinking with that kind of mindset, the sooner you can really push your quote unquote career.
Mm-hmm.
We are coming up to my last written out question, so I guess we can open up the floor to more of chat questions, assuming you're open.
Yeah, I will probably I can do the last question, and then I think I'll have a few minutes for a Q&A, and then I think we'll be good at that point.
I do cover pretty decent ground with the questions
Mm-hmm.
I ask.
Mm-hmm.
So usually at the end of interview, it's like a couple questions, but we definitely don't need to keep you longer than we need. So while chat's thinking of those, what things in your life are you grateful for?
Um, I'm grateful for um really my support network of friends, family, polycule as it may be, um, as it is, and just like the I've been going through, without getting into heavy territory. I've been having a real rough patch in my life with burnout and stuff, and I am still here because of the people in my life who are keeping me here, and they mean so much to me, and I'm so grateful for them. And I'm so grateful that I've been, fortunate enough to have resources to keep doing stuff like this. Um, like I was talking about gatekeeping earlier. and I I have some amount of privilege in having like being able to go to school, being able to have like money to throw around for some of the stuff that I'm using for VTubing, and I think it's like I am extremely grateful for that. And I recognize that it's something that isn't always going to be available to everyone. So like I'm grateful. I'm grateful for all of it, and I'm grateful for people that are just I I I love everyone in the VTubing community because as much as you might have some people who are a little, I guess, clout hungry, but like whatever.
There are a couple problematic characters, I won't argue with that,
But there's
but
just as
I
many
agree there's
people.
so many great people in this community.
There's the mummy that we all are familiar with who retweets your
Mhm,
shit, and like,
and he's even a sweetheart if you do ever talk to him
yeah,
a little more direct than just, public tweeting.
oh yeah, like, and I think it's people that want to uplift other people.
Mhm,
You like it's wonderful. It's really great. So I'm grateful for I'm grateful for humanity as a whole, but also like all of the wonderful people in my life and in this community in specific. That's my, I guess, overly loquacious answer. There you go.
mhm. It's a very sweet answer.
I just love people. I just love people.
There's nothing wrong with that. Crimson is asking, "How was your day?"
Pretty good. I think some of this is documented on my Twitter, but I played a horror game last night, and then when I went to bed, um, my computer decided to auto update, and it jump scared me in my own home when I was in bed. My monitor comes on, wakes me up, and I'm like, ah. So I tweet for a bit, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go back to sleep. I get back to sleep at like 3:30. So I'm tired, but I'm feeling real good. This has been a lot of fun. So I got energy. I'm
Has been a
good.
lot of fun.
Yeah.
Just approaching the 2-hour mark. What, there's a chaser lies? You can't change my mind?
But there's chasers. Oh, there's
I
chasers.
mean, they just kind of gravitate around us, Pinky.
Like there's if you wanna find chasers, look at all the people that saying Bridget from Guilty Gear isn't trans.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
not to get aggressive, but like that
No,
whole
let's do.
like those people I always do wonder about that because it's like this like, no, she can't be trans, and it's like, so the like a lot of these people are like, oh, I'm straight, but you wanna fuck Bridget, but you don't want her to be trans. But they're really attached to this whole are and you know the word are they gay? And it's like,
Wait, are we not allowed to say that on Twitch?
oh, I guess it's fine on Twitch. Yeah, like the whole R traps gay thing, and it's like,
Oh, traps. I thought you meant femboys.
no. I meant the other one. Um,
Yeah, that is a hotly debated topic.
and I'm just like,
Obviously, I'm on the opinion of no.
it's this weird thing where it's like, I think what it might be is that there's in these terrible boards in these terrible spaces, there are straight dudes that have realized that they're actually not that against dick, but they're not gay. They're just okay with if a woman has a dick, but they can't acknowledge that that would just be a woman because that puts them at
They're stuck in a
risk.
binary.
Yeah, and it puts them at risk of being caught being gay, quote unquote. And it's just like this whole weird, like, mental gymnastics mind palace they've trapped themselves in, where it's like the infinite backrooms jungle gym of your own creation. I'm just like,
I know, right?
why? Just be like, I want to fuck Bridget. Bridget girl, I straight, everything works out.
Yeah,
It's
what problem?
how is this difficult? Also, I think I actually might have a little more time than I thought, so I can answer a few more questions. Hooray.
Gee, please tell P-Dork that. Please clip it and we can share it.
Oh god. Any
We
questions
love
from my
brisket.
chat?
We do.
We do love brisket. I love that brisket so much. The image with it, with that like gorgeous, cute smile, and then just brisket. I'm just like, it puts a smile on my face every time.
Oh yeah, Crimson, the bot's down right now. I don't know why.
But yeah,
Yeah,
good
I'm a
stuff.
big supporter of Bridget and her journey.
Hell yeah. It's funny because people like, but it doesn't make sense or whatever. It's like, look, my own path
Bruh.
to being trans was such a fucking meandering, wild thing. Seeing that Bridges isn't a straight line from point A to point B is only more authentic as far as I'm
Yeah,
concerned,
it's goddamn realistic. What, do they think we all figure it out from birth? No, we
right?
have ideas, but we most of the time don't actually put two and two together.
This is why
I
it's,
figured it out when I was 27.
mm-hmm. Oh my God, same.
Twinsies! Oh my
It
god.
can't keep happening. Um, we found out that we're
You're like the slightly less lewd sister I never had.
oh no. Oh, we've progressed to sisters. Well, this is fun. But no, the
Don't worry, just stepsisters.
stepsister, I suck someday. But yeah, no, the like it is it is so funny the roundabout like path where I'm just like, yeah, no, that makes perfect that makes so much sense. Like, do you think that trans people are born with this innate sense of like I am X, not Y? It's like, no, there's like something's wrong. Your body just screams at you that something is not correct.
Yeah,
And
but it doesn't tell you what's
yeah,
not correct.
I don't know,
It
like
just feel out of place in your own skin.
right? Like, I mean, I don't
Does that?
know for the cis folk out there, have you ever felt bad and you just couldn't figure out what it was that was really getting you down? So imagine that amplified times like 1,000, and it's just low level. It's just constant, and you just cannot figure out that. That's maybe a bit. It's not always that bad, but like dysphoria can be like that, where it's like I actually don't know why I feel terrible or I think I look hideous in the mirror. I just know that I do, and if you don't have like the someone saying it's okay if the answer is that you just are a woman, then it's hard to arrive there on your own, you know?
Yep. It's hard to really figure out where you really are with in terms of gender, in terms of sexuality.
Wow, a twin brother's gotta complicate a lot of things.
Do you happen to know Titan of Joy?
No, I don't.
She's a pretty big TikTok trans influencer.
Oh.
And I've just been thinking about this one TikTok she put out was she did a video with her twin brother and they were asked, "Are you guys identical twins?" They just look at the camera. Well, not anymore. That's just been stuck in my head.
It's very good. It's funny, I've been like I can tell that the transition's been working because I look at old pictures of me and I'm like, yeah, it must have been dysphoria telling me that I was like not good looking because I think I'm fine actually. Not like, ooh, I'm fine. Like I was doing perfectly all right. Oh,
Mhm.
maybe you've seen what you're talking about. I'll need to track that down because that's very funny. Titan of
If
Joy, you
I
said?
can remember it, I will send it to you.
Hell yeah.
I'll just have to browse my TikToks a little,
Mm-mm.
I hope. But, what was I gonna say? I am so great at this.
Oh, also, I did think it was funny when I finished making my model and realized that I have blue hair and pronouns.
I debated that, honestly. For a while, I did actually go purple hair,
Ooh, nice.
but I ended up going with coloring similar to my IRL stuff.
I do like the partial shaved areas on your hair. I think that's really good.
I don't even consider those partial shaved, it's just, like, tied back into the ponytail, but that part's not dyed.
Ah, that's also good. All good.
Yeah, 'cause I do, loose bleaching of my hair, where it still
Mm.
shows plenty of my natural brown.
Mhm, mhm.
And, well, I threw this together in, oh, geez, like, half hour in VRoid Studio, and
Mhm.
then over time, I've built up the outfit, I built up the horns. I was working on wings, but then those were a pain in the ass.
Yeah, once I realized that all the wings are just hair presets and then that's its own mercurial nonsense, I was like, "Oh, I'll figure this out
Mhm.
at a later time."
Yep, that's what I'm doing. That's why I swapped my wings to a tattoo.
Ooh, very nice.
Very classy, too.
All good rides do have handlebars.
Mhm. Well, I think we're about ready to wrap this up.
Mm, yeah. This was
Right.
lovely. Thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely. Thank you for coming on. It's been such a pleasure to chat with you. I'd be more than happy to chat again in the future.
Oh, same.
Now, for
Have
the
a
end
good
of
night,
the
Crimson.
video, would you wanna Nighty night, Crimson. Would you wanna shout yourself out one more time for the end of the video?
Sure. I'm Lauren Haley, Norn VTuber. I do gaming and chatting and in the future music streams, and you can find me on Twitter, Twitch, um, Discord now, Reddit. Which don't go to the subreddit. There's nothing there. And then the Coffee and Throne, and yeah, but the Twitter and the Twitch are the most active. So, oh, and I have a YouTube that has like VODs and one music related thing. So I should mention those. Um,
There's her Twitter. Go check it out.
yeah,
I will be including your card in the, VOD video when that goes live.
thank you.
Wow, that's gonna be a while, honestly.
Perfectly fine. I know how long it takes to do YouTube videos.
Oh, I don't do much of the editing, it's more of, I don't wanna have them all come out instantly and then, like, run out of my content.
Scheduling.
Yeah, like, I'd schedule it so I'd have a decent backlog of content that I'm not
Hmm.
gonna run out if I have to, say, for example, take a week off because I got a new job. But, that way I have stuff I can keep going with. It's not gonna really break up the flow, but I will, be cutting back on streaming some. Yeah, Sensical does do the editing. Well, Pink Seraph. They're still doing a rebrand, but Twitch won't let them rename because, Twitch.
Hmm.
But now I guess it's time to decide who to raid.
Oh yeah, rating time. I should also raid someone, or we should raid the same people. That's right.
Root Beer Cutie Booty. I'm a little biased towards her because she asked me to VTuber prom, and I said yes.
Oh, I don't have a
Medica
VTuber prom date.
Android. You should ask somebody.
I should. Let's see. Who do I
Medica
have?
Android playing Rumbleverse. I don't know what that is. Voltage playing Bioshock.
I have Allie the
Voltage is a great.
mm-hmm.
Ally the Goblin?
Yeah,
Yeah,
doing Kerbal.
yeah.
All right,
Let's do that.
let's do it. All right.
Actually, I'm gonna boop in and make sure she's not on break or anything.
Okay, sure.
Because do you know Ninja Kai?
I don't.
He's somewhat prominent on Twitter. I I'm a little sleepy because I got like 4 hours.
Mm.
But like I decided, oh hey, I gotta raid anybody, or I gotta raid anyways. I see Ninja Kai is streaming. Sweet, let's go raid. I jump straight into the raid, don't look at it, and he was on break.
Oh,
Yeah, so now I'm actually screening who I'm gonna raid.
I mean, I did that to Mimi just last night
Oh yeah, we were gonna talk
went on break,
Seraph.
got 2 raids, came back. Oh god, there were 2 raids.
Yeah, like um the raid happens while he's on break, and then in his chat it's like, why you bully me? I'm like, no, fuck. I didn't even mean to.
Is
I'm
it?
so out of it.
Are we clear on Allie?
Yeah, I'm thinking. So her ads are actually just running. So perfect timing.
Hell yeah.
Mhm.
Give me a countdown.
Seraph, I don't have the countdown just yet.
Oh, just a verbal. It's fine. Oh,
Oh yeah, no worries. I will be booping into her chat and like warning her a little.
mhm. Mimi, it's okay. You can throw your mods under the bus as much as you want. I do that to my producer all the time.
No, I like them. I don't want to throw them under the bus or say no, we're not doing stuff. Like tomorrow, I'm not going to be streaming per se. I will be um appearing on somebody else's stream though, because they asked, and
Hmm,
I said yes.
very nice.
Yes, Sensical Seraph, we will chat tomorrow. Well, we'll still
Ooh.
be chatting in Discord today.
Yeah, this is my second collab ever, and it's been very nice, so I'm excited to do more.
Excellent. Okay, I think we're ready to start the raid.
Okay, and go.
Flash raid.
One viewer. We're going in.
Uh,
Oh, two
Goblin.
viewers. Very good.
Wait, Goblin. Did
Right now.
that work? Did my raid work? No!
All right. Let's see. Should be. Yeah, I think we're coming in.
Meaty. Yeah, we are coming in. I am still live on my end, by the way.
Hi, cutie.
On raid.
Let's see.
That's our second raid today. That's fucking awesome. Thank you guys.
I think my raid. Yeah, my raid's gone through, so I think I'm
Yeah, your raid's in there.
gonna just